going on, guys? Liam here, and it's time to wrap up round 27 of the 2023 NRL season, and we did it. It's finals time, baby. We're all done. We know what the top 8 looks like. We know who's playing who. Man, how good. And man, I had a lot of fun doing these sorts of videos throughout the year, and yeah, I'm going to keep doing it. I was just doing it as a bit of a, see if I like it sort of thing. And I was like, man, maybe 5 of my friends might watch, sort of thing. And we ended up building up pretty quick, and we're at, 2,770 odd. And like I said, man, thanks to each and every one of you, man, all the kind words over the year and stuff like that. It's been absolutely incredible. Love you guys all. You're all awesome. Love chatting footy with you guys, and we'll definitely bring it back next year. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing yet, man? Hit that sub button. And just a few people actually were messaging me saying, they were actually like, when are you dropping your whatever video? I'm like, if you just obviously hit that bell icon, it'll pop up and tell you when I do my, put my punts up and stuff like that as well, so you don't miss anything. But like I said, guys, got some pretty cool stuff planned for next year, and going to open the year with a pretty solid giveaway. So yeah, you're gonna want to get on that. You're gonna want to get on that. But we still have the finals. We still have internationals to go at the end of the year, guys. So we're not done yet. And let's get this thing done. All right, so in this video will be a little bit different wrap-up video, because obviously it's the end of the year. We'll go through all the games. We won't have a look at the ladder, I guess. We'll have a little look, but we'll more just preview next week's games really quickly, like just a quick brush over. And then we'll actually, we'll go into the individual games as well. But we'll skip over the games. We'll go over them briefly, but we'll only really talk about the games that mattered, and you know what I mean, like talking about like how Melbourne looked, or like how Cronulla looked and stuff like that, because it obviously will affect next week's sort of games and stuff like that. So let's get it done. All right, so baby Broncos go down to the Melbourne Storm. Broncos just cannot beat the Storm, man. It's a problem, and it might be a problem in these finals, man. Seagulls just shred up the West Tigers. Roosters get it done, push their way into the 8, beat the Bunnies. Jesus Christ. I've got a quick one for you guys. What do you think was a bigger failure? Bunnies falling off this year, or Broncos falling off last year? I was umming and ahhing about that one, because Bunnies were on top. Like, Broncos were never on top, but Bunnies were on top. But it was in round 11, so it was a bit of a slow fall off. Whereas Broncos literally were 4th and were like, with only, 5 or 6 weeks to go, and literally plummeted out. So, bit of a thing, but I'd love to hear what you guys think about that one. I couldn't decide. I was like, they were both terrible, but what was worse, the slow decline or the complete fall off from the Broncos? Dolphins get it done against the Warriors. Penrith beat the Cowboys. Knights get it done against the Dragons. Titans beat the Bulldogs, and Sharkies beat the Raiders. So what did we have? We had Melbourne, we had Seagulls. I think we had the Bunnies here, so we got that one wrong. We had the Dolphins, we had Penrith, we had I can't remember which one we had in this one. I think we might have gone Dragons. I can't remember. We had the Titans, and we had the Sharkies. So not too bad. At least 6, maybe 7. My memory's a bit bad. So we'll just really quickly look at the ladder. So I always sort of say, it's a bit of a pass-fail in the NRL. Like, if you make the finals, technically it's a pass mark for the year. If you miss out, it's a bit of a fail. But there's good and bad fails. For example, Dolphins finishing 13th. First year, I'd call that a pass. You know what I'm saying? And then, these 3 obviously were all in semi-finals last year. So I guess you'd call them failures, sort of thing. And yeah, and then there's teams that showed a lot of promise, like Titans. I didn't have them finishing in the top 8, but they showed me a lot of stuff that I was like, you know what, next year could be good, sort of thing. So let's have a quick look at next week's games real quickly, guys. So we've got prices here and everything. How good. All right, so we've got Broncos versus Storm. Let me know what you guys think too here. So I want to see who you guys have winning these 4 games as well. Obviously, we'll do a proper preview video. And I'll give my takes as well. But Broncos Storm, this actually shocked me a little bit. Having Broncos are pretty, I wouldn't call that firm. You know what I mean? But that's for a team that's been beaten every single time for the past decade, and only won 2 or 3 times. It really is a bit of a bogey team, and to me, it's more the way Melbourne play. It doesn't really suit the Broncos, like the way the Broncos play. So I was a little shocked at that. I was thinking $1.90, even though the Broncos have been a much better team throughout the year. We have the Penrith Panthers taking on the Wars. Congratulations, the Wars, finishing 4th. How good. Sharkies versus the Roosters, that's going to be a cracker. And then we have the Knights versus the Raiders, guys. So drop them in the comments. Who's winning these games, guys? Absolutely cannot wait. Penrith Panthers are short against the Warriors. If you're a Warriors fan, not bad. And then, wow, even money. Even money for the Sharks and the Roosters. And pretty firm favourites. Now, Ponga is 50-50, I heard. So if you have a look at the casualty ward, it does say. So everyone looks like finals week 1 should be okay for the Broncos. Knights, so Hastings, it is saying finals week 1 as well. But I just watched the Matty John show and Adam Elliott and who else was on there? Dom Young was on there. And they said Hastings was more likely than Ponga. So I was like, oh, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, so a bit scary. And Jerome Luai week 3. So that would make it. So if Penrith win this weekend, then they have the week off, Luai will be right for the next game. So only technically maybe missing 2 games off that shoulder injury, which would be huge for Penrith. So back for the semi-final. And then Horsburgh, grand final, so he's not playing again this year. Papali next season. Who else? We've got Jared next season. Who else? Joey Manu final. So hopefully Tupou and Manu are back. Who we got from the Sharkies? Connor Tracy went down this weekend. Bicep next season. So no real help. I'll get into that in a minute, but I think they do need Will back. And Warriors, Tohu Harris finals. They need him back. He's been massive for them. He's been massive. Super underrated for the Warriors. All right, let's get into these games real quick. Okay. You know what this game was to me, man? Everyone was talking, this is disrespectful to the game, blah, 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 blah. And I did a video saying, these old farts need to shut up and just, both these teams are playing for something bigger than a club game, bit of bragging rights and stuff like that. But just to shove it in their face. Do you know what this game reminded me of? You know, do any UFC fans out there, or it happens a bit in boxing as well, you know when there's a huge fight and you sit down there early with your boys and there's 2 dudes walk out you've never heard of, and you're sitting there and it's just the sickest fight ever. Like, they're just banging and going crazy, whereas a lot of the more established guys are a little bit more careful and all that sort of stuff. These guys were throwing it around. This was so good. I really enjoyed this. I think, man, a lot of these players, I was really impressed with a lot of these players. Tristan Saylor's brilliant for 60 minutes, a little bit dicey in the second end. It was good to see Pappy, see the mullet flowing. Justin Olam was coming off the back fence, just beasting. It's good to see Nicaraema's little brother having a go. I thought Wishart was pretty good. Tarek was beasting. Like, Tepai Morel bursting through the middle. Now, this kid here, this Farlongo, Jesus, he can move. And it was good to see Penne back too. So, I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was good fun. Pecora got charged 3 times and got off all 3, which is pretty crazy. I was a little bit disappointed with Fleggs, just because, we look at this forward back. Nothing wrong with it, but we're talking about a state representative prop. I was like, I don't know if he was holding a little something back. He scored that try, and I was like, damn, Fleggs is going to tear him apart. And I thought it was a bit average for the game, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I definitely wasn't overly impressed. This dude here, this Hoyter, is that how you say his name? Pretty impressed with him. Jesse Arthurs is great. I think Jesse has to play on the wing instead of Corey Oates. His legs, I don't know. I'm not. I was a huge fan of what the Broncos were doing with Jesse Arthurs there. Love Corey. I just don't. I think Jesse's the future for this club, and he is so safe under the high ball. I love the way he moves. Great lateral mover. He can. Like, Corey Oates is better at taking tough carries, but it's not like Jesse's bad at it. You know what I mean? And so I'd love to see Jesse Arthurs. I think that'd be a big reward for him too, for holding down the fort for such a long time on the wing as well. And like I just said, with Cobbo and Reece, both with a tremendous amount of handling errors, I think to have a safe winger in there, just bite the bullet and do it sort of thing. But we'll have to wait and see what Kevy does. The issue with that is, I guess, Broncos, he's one of 2 players that's ever played finals, I believe. I might be wrong there, but I don't think I'm far off. It'd be him and Reno, I think. Maybe my brother Kurt Catewell. That's about it. And he hasn't played many. He played a couple with Penrith, you know. So, we'll have to wait and see. But no, this was a brilliant game, man. I was really impressed. It's good to see Paps back in full flight. Tristan Sailor's numbers, I mean, check this out. He was 202 metres, 51 post contact, a line break, 3 line break assists, 2 try assists, 8 tackle breaks. That's elite. That is elite. I wasn't overly impressed with Jock Madden. He's... and the other one I wasn't that impressed with, because I've been hearing everyone jerking off this dude like crazy, this Blake Moser. Like this is the thing. Sometimes these kids that are hyped up, right? What's his numbers? Yeah, nothing. No numbers. Sometimes these young kids, right, they get hyped up and then they come into first grade and they don't shine right away because it's a big step up in class. This was technically 2 reserve grade teams playing, and I didn't see anything there that I was like, wow, sort of thing. Even the way he moved or anything like that. But it's one game. I'm not bagging the guy. I was just a little bit like, oh, this is the guy that everyone's talking about. You know what I mean? Because I don't watch a ton of grade footy. So yeah, I wasn't overly impressed, I guess you could sort of say, but that's just me being a bit critical. And like I said, I've watched him play for 24 minutes, and I'm not going to judge him on that. But yeah, I was like literally all week, people are like, bro, you wait till you see this kid, and I just, yeah, it's already a good young footy player, not much else. Great attendance, man. Shout out to all the Broncos and Storm fan for getting out to this one. You're the legends, you're real MVPs, going out and supporting your team, even though all the stars weren't there. So congratulations to both these teams. Melbourne Storm, consistent as ever, absolutely brilliant. And Brisbane Broncos, just a complete turnaround from last year and becoming a powerhouse. The powerhouse the town of Brisbane deserves. You know what I'm saying? So this is where you guys should be. We'll have a quick look at the team stats. But yeah, not the completion rates fell away at the end there. But really, really quick play the ball from some of those young Broncos middle forwards are bloody powerful, man. Hopefully they don't lose it, but obviously signing Payne Haas on big money, you're probably not going to hold on to all them, but yeah, good game of footy, man. Absolutely impressed. All right, Seagulls, West Tigers. Like I said, we won't talk about this one for a whole heap of time just because, the game didn't really matter, but just a couple, like I said, I see a bit in, I've talked the Tigers up a little bit, I'm not going to bag them, but this dude here, worst haircut ever, he looked nice. He looked nice. I was pretty impressed with that kid. But Manly can do this to you, man. Like, Manly have a team to rip you to ribbons. Like, they genuinely... If they can keep everyone healthy, keep all their and they just get rid of Schuster. I see him possibly doing some damage next year. I mean, this Saab dude, this Kohler dude, man, he's so good. Dare I say, put Turbo in the centres. Like... I mean, it would fill a gap. I mean, Morgan Harper just gives penalties and makes errors. So, like put him in the centres, but give him a complete license. You know, like I don't know, like doesn't have to make as many tackles and stuff. It doesn't have to run into big collisions and stuff like that. Maybe a little less work, but because I mean, check these. This is back to back. Kohler's done this. Like this is like last week. All right, he ran for 300 metres. Cool, bro. He did it again. 300 metres, 40 post contact, 3 line breaks, 2 line break assists, a try, 16 tackle breaks. Like if Turbo did this, we'd be talking about what a brilliant game it was from Turbo. Cole's done it back-to-back weeks. Like, he's shredding dudes apart. Like, he moves different, man. He reminds me a bit of... Like, to me, he's almost like a bit Jared Haney. Like, you know what I mean? Just light, like, but faster. Like, Haney was not slow, but just bit Jared Haney, just pretty much impossible to tackle one-on-one. Like, you could not tackle... Jared Haney in his absolute prime, you could not tackle one-on-one. We've all seen the highlight reels where he literally just, like, broke 6 tackles and scored a try. Kohler's a bit similar. Like, and he's young too. I think yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a conversation. I mean, I'm not sitting here for 1 second disrespecting Turbo. He's had one of the best seasons of all time, and he is an all-time great. Oh, damn close to it. Probably has to achieve a couple more things before we call him that, but, like, Jesus Christ, this kid is... And just... What I really liked about it is... So, Turbo, for me... Turbo is elite, but if you actually watch a lot of Turbo's highlights, he's not creating it out of nothing. Like, if you know what I mean. Like, usually someone will, like Cherry Evans, whatever, like something will happen, and he's who's their Turbo, and then Turbo just has to go, and like heaps of work to do still, but he's just like elite at sort of finishing like that, and yeah, but he doesn't really start a lot of the stuff, whereas Kohler you can flick him the ball, bro, and he will do something, like 16 tackle breaks, 300 metres, like that is absurd, and he's big and strong, and he moves different, man. There's just some people that just move different. Like, I think Val Holmes is that. Like, they almost run really nice balance. Because Kohler was a sprinter, you get taught to run with balance. So I remember, like, I got sprint training when I was young, and I remember this kid who was technically better than me, like he was quicker than me, but he'd almost be falling over when he runs and stuff, and like, because I had like the nice upright proper sprint, training, I always really, it's really efficient movement. Like Val Holmes is probably the best at it right now. Jared Hayne had it back in the day as well, like I mentioned already, but you get what I'm saying. Like you see people and they're sort of running and it's almost ugly, but they're quick as hell, but it's not perfect. Critter, perfect example. Critter isn't like, it's a pretty ugly running style. Like you watch Critter run, he's not slow, but it's inefficient movement. And you know what I mean? Like he got run down by Cherry Evans, bro. Like Critter's 22 and 6'3" or 4" or whatever it is. A little, you know what I mean? A halfback, a 34-year-old halfback shouldn't be running across the field and running you down, sort of thing. So having Kohler being able to half create something and then have Saab on the outside, shut the gate. It's elite. We actually had Saab as a try scorer too, which is pretty damn awesome. Big Jakey for his 200th, brilliant. But yeah, I think Manly could do some damage next year. I really do. And that let's not talk anymore about these guys because we need to get to the good stuff. But Jesus Christ, what a hiding! Manly, if they can get their stuff together for next year, I think they could do some damage, man. All right. So earlier in this video, I said how cool's the prelim when the prelim's just amazing before a big fight. This was the main event that underperformed, So you watch your prelim and then you wait, your big fight comes and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, that was pretty boring. I was not impressed with this at all. I think most people agreed with me. I had some people say, oh, yeah, this was an awesome game. What are you talking about? But they were all Roosters fans. So, of course, it was good for you. But yeah, if you weren't a Roosters fan, I don't know how you could possibly enjoy this game. I mean, completion rates weren't incredible. I mean, it was just... Put it this way, I was abundantly aware that I was watching 8th play 10th. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It was not a horrendous game of footy, but this was touted as game of the year, winner goes home, blah, 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 and they actually said, it doesn't matter where, in the preview, it doesn't matter where these two are on the table, it's always the best game, and I was sitting there watching, going, I'm clearly watching 8th versus 10th. Like, these teams aren't close to the top 5 or 6 guys, sort of thing. So, yeah, pretty disappointing, man. And Roosters, we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, they really did win the ruck here, if you can check that out. That's a really quick play the ball speed. They won through the middle a little bit, but not much else to really write home about. I mean, missed tackles pretty low from both. But, yeah, then the errors. I mean, 10-9, 11 penalties for the whole game. Yeah, it was just all right. But it's one of these ones, like maybe this Broncos game, because everyone thought it was going to be crap and it wasn't, we're talking it up, and maybe everyone said this was going to be the best game of the year and it wasn't, so everyone thought it was crap. I don't know, but Roosters are through. But like I said, I'm seeing a team that looks like the 8th or 7th best team in the comp, so yeah, I'm not holding my... I feel like they're actually a pretty bad footy team, but just because they got stars studded through their team, it's just they're just getting by. Like, guys like Sawali and Tedesco and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, I actually feel like they're actually a bad rugby league team. I said it on quite a few. But I mean, not a bad rugby league team. Like, they're doing all the team stuff poorly. Like I remember, who were they playing? The Broncos or something? And I did my post video, and I'm like, it was like the other team had 3 extra players. Like, it was just, they'd shift the ball out, and there was the other team, the defensive team had an overlap. I'm like, how's this happening? And it was a little bit better. They were playing a little bit more direct, but I think they're finished where they are. They're about the 7th or 8th best team in the comp. And yeah, as for Bunnies, I mean, I do think Taft going down in the 20th minute was a big loss, just because they didn't have anyone. 18th minute, Jesus Christ. They didn't have anyone to cover him. Like Johnson's not a natural fullback. I mean, it was just... But Cody Walker looked clunky. Lachlan Ilias, Jesus Christ, he is... Like, he's so frustrating. He'll kick the ball out on the full, and then his next kick will just be a peach. And then he'll just kick the ball dead. And then his next kick will be a peach. I'm like, bro, can you at least, like, do 2 good kicks in a row and then your crappy kick? Like, this 50-50 ratio of poor kicking to good kicking is just... And that's why I think Cody Walker's taken over a lot of the kicking, and he's not a natural kicker. Like, he's not bad, but Lachlan Ilias just... I can't remember the last game I watched where he didn't put a ball out on the full. I can't. It's been crazy. I thought Keon started good, but he just sort of fell off a little bit there. But the Roosters are okay, and they've got a stacked team. I mean, Teddy had a pretty good game, 200 metres, 83, 62 post-contact, 2 line break assists, try assists, 6 tackle breaks. I mean, that's all right. But not much help anywhere else. I was not overly impressed. Like I said, I think if they put this performance up against the Penrith, Broncos, Storm, Warriors, Knights, possibly even the Sharks, I think they get cooked. So we'll have to wait and see. They're going to have to be better if they want to do anything in the finals for real. But yeah, look, the completion rate 79%. It's not too bad. Both teams ran for about 1,700, 3 line breaks to 6. I mean, they ran from off. They definitely won the ruck. This is where I sort of felt like they won the game. It was like substantially quicker in play the balls. Tackle efficiency pretty similar. Missed tackles pretty similar. It was actually pretty damn even. It was just the clunkiness of the Rabbitohs attack, and that's been their calling card for the last 3 years. They've just had the slickest attack. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. But hopefully the boys are fit for next week, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see who they're playing again. Who have they got again? Oof. I think that's crazy. I think the Sharks play much better footy than the Roosters. But yeah, it's pretty damn crazy. All right, so we got next Dolphins, Warriors. Yeah, Warriors rested a bunch of players. So we won't talk about them a whole heap. But yeah, I think they dug in there a little bit. It was good to see Tamari Martin come back. Looks sharp. But yeah, so just one thing on the good year from the Dolphins. Like, how many wins they end up with? Wins. 9 wins in your first year. I had them winning less than 5. So it's pretty damn good, man. One thing I think they need to work on next year for sure, and so be it for me to tell the great Wayne Bennett how we should... I feel like... so just watching this game, right, I had money on Hamiso to score a try. So when you have money on someone to score a try, you're watching them like a hawk. And I feel like they tried to play him almost like a ball player too much. I think Hamiso's best just running off the... Like, just supporting up the middle. Just running, like... Or just outside, inside. Like, they ran 2 outside, inside plays for props. And they worked, but a prop got the ball. There was one where I watched them, they swung the ball out, and then I just see this brown fella cutting in. I thought it had to be Hamiso because they're running the outside, inside, and I'm like, oh, he's going to score off this for sure because it fully opened up the middle of the ruck, and it was Herman Esse. I'm like, what the hell are you running that for him for? He's 200 kilos. I'm like, come on, bro. It's like, oh, you're killing me, bro. But yeah, I think, like, I don't think there's a better player in open space than Hamiso. And just like Jared Wallace, great offload. Just run off him. Bang, hit the thing, flick it up. Give Hamiso on broken play is unstoppable. So I think rather than using him as like a ball player, just have him sniffing around. And obviously that means the halves have to be creating everything. And obviously Wayne Bennett knows more than me, and maybe these guys aren't creative enough to do what he needs to do. But yeah, that's where I think Hamiso is much better. But yeah, you can't be running outside inside balls for Herman Esse and have Hamiso sitting out the back. That's just ridiculous. So I will give him a little bit of criticism, Hammer. Like, I think he's one of the most improved players. I knew he was going to be elite, but I actually noticed a few times a little bit of laziness. Just for example, if that crazy try Brisbane scored, Selwyn Cobbo scored on Brisbane, once snatched the game off him. So if you actually watch that, I watched it a few times. So Hamiso was the one who was about pushing Selwyn Cobbo out. And so they're shoulder to shoulder. So technically he was pushing Cobbo out. He pushed him, he kicked the ball. And then Selwyn Cobbo sort of fell, ran around, and Hamiso just stopped. And so Selwyn Cobbo literally ran around and then ran through and passed and picked up the ball. Hamiso was just standing there in the background. Like, technically someone else should have been there cleaning it up, but you don't do that, man. You're big time, bro. You're not that big time yet, bro. You're not big time enough to be just hoping someone else cleans up a mess. As brilliant, I'm not taking anything away from Selwyn, but that shouldn't have been a try. Like, that should have never been a try. Everyone was talking about how great it was from Selwyn, and it was. But it was also hella lazy from Hammer. But man, honestly, he's one of those guys similar to Kohler. He moves different. He's brilliant. He's in open space. I don't think there's a better sight in rugby league. Him in space, it's beautiful. Warriors, let's not talk about them a whole heap. Other than congratulations, surprise of the year, absolutely brilliant. I hope you guys do go deep into the finals. And look, man, no one, even Warriors fans, a lot of Warriors fans didn't have you this high. So yeah, it's just absolutely brilliant. I can't give these guys a big enough rap. I thought Barnett was good in his comeback. Nick Hora was great. Yeah, it was pretty solid effort. This kid was pretty good. They're just lacking that little bit of NRL class, you know. So, like I said, let's not bag them too much. But yeah, congratulations to both these two teams. You can both hold your heads proud. You can have a big Mad Monday, Dolphins fans. You deserve it. And Warriors, you've got more work to do. And whether you get bounced out of the finals or not, awesome week, awesome year of footy, something you can really build on. The good thing is, at the very least, Warriors are going to get 2 games of finals experience under their belt for next year. That's the worst case scenario. And who knows, maybe even more. Oh, man, let's talk about this one, man. Let's talk about this one. Cowboys win this, they're in the finals. Cowboys, everything to play for. And when I watched this, everyone was like, man, Cowboys were crap, they didn't show up. We'll have a look at these stats first. I actually think it was Penrith being brilliant and not giving them a sniff. It was, so yeah, like if we'll just go through these stats and I'll keep going. 74 completion rate, it's not great, but it's not absurd. Like, you can win a game of rugby league with this, but then when the other team does this, when the other team runs for 2,000 metres and restricts you to 1,400, they run for 700 post-contact metres, you run for 500, 10 line breaks to 3, 73 tackle breaks to the Penrith Panthers to 24. Penrith bummed them. Penrith dead set bummed them. This wasn't Cowboys playing bad. This is Penrith being really, really good. Blasted them through the ruck. Yeah, it was like Penrith aren't an offloading team. You let them offload 23 times. Like, damn, man. Tackle efficiency. They just didn't miss. 90% tackle efficiency. That's obviously not great at all. And then missed tackles 24. Like, if this is under 30, you're doing great. You know, it's just... Because this is a funny thing. Someone said the other day, 30 missed tackles, that's high, isn't it? You don't understand that. You can, like, grab someone, and then 2 blokes can grab them, and their feet can, like, slip out, and it's a missed tackle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you can have almost a perfect game of rugby league and you're still going to get 10, 12 missed tackles just a player, like, almost slipping off a tackle intentionally sort of thing. So, again, like, not a ton of errors. I mean, under 10s, it's fine. But then, yeah, Penrith even less. Only 4 penalties conceded. It's just this Penrith machine, man. It's pretty damn scary. But yeah, I thought Drinkwater got handled great. The other thing was too, someone messaged me and goes, "Oh man, I was really worried when Cowboys scored these 2 tries." And without disrespecting the Cowboys, I'm not trying to bag yous, but I said, look, bro, they're the only 2 tries they're going to score. And he's like, nah, man, they look red hot. I'm like, bro, you can get on top of Penrith for a period of time. Like, it's not like Penrith don't beat you from the first to the 80th minute. I mean, they can. But, like, if you're a good team, you're going to have little periods in there where you're on top of them. They're not, like, unbeatable like that way. But it's just, like, I'm like, when I saw they put everything into that sort of 10-minute period where they were genuinely right on top of Penrith. And then just as soon as it went back into an arm wrestle, you just watch all the body language just leave the Cowboys. You know what I mean? They got up for it. They were running back. You know, what were they down? They were down quite heavily. But yeah, I was like, nah, bro, that's... Like, I'm like, yeah, Penrith concede 12 points a game and they've scored their 12 points. That's it. That's all they're getting, bro. You're fine. But that's what they do to you. Like, and I don't know if anyone watched my pre-game thing. I said if Cowboys don't have 12 points on the board within the first 12 minutes, they're not winning the game. Like, they had to really punch Penrith in the mouth and get them out of their systems. Penrith just went into their systems. And like I said, you can win that arm wrestle for a period of time, but good luck doing it for 80 minutes. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, it was pretty... I'm actually not that disappointed with Cowboys. I just genuinely think they got strangled by a better team. Like, you know what? Like, I talked about who was it? The Roosters being about the 7th best team. I honestly, just if you look at the whole year, I think Cowboys were about the 11th best team this year. I mean, they've barely won games away from home. They got pumped multiple times. They weren't much better than 11th. It was just they got very hot for 6 weeks, and you know what I mean. But like, just remember too, Tigers were hot for a month. Tigers were in 3 or 4 games. Remember, like every team, like Bulldogs had a pretty good month. They pumped Melbourne and stuff. Like, you can get red hot for a little bit. You got to do it for 27 weeks now, which is crazy, sort of thing. So yeah, like I said, I honestly think, and I had Cowboys top 4 this year, so I don't think I'm bagging them or anything. I think Cowboys played well for 80 minutes 2 or 3 times this year. Like, seriously, from their first game, like, if you've been watching me since the start of the year, the first game at halftime, I was like, wow, Cowboys are going to win the comp. And they were winning 18-0 against Canberra and just looked so good. And then they won that game 19-18. You know, looked awful in the second half. And it was just, they could just barely put together 2 halves of footy all year. And that's why I said they needed to jump Penrith early as well, because I had no confidence that they were going to be able to win the second half. So, yeah, it was honestly pretty disappointing. I'm not that disappointed with the Cowboys. I still think they've got an awesome team. I think they can still build on next year. I definitely still think they can make finals next year. They've got a lot of really good players in there, man. Like, for real. Like, they've got a lot of really good players. This Laybutt dude, he's going to be really good, taking Hiku's spot. Neem's brilliant. I mean, their team's stacked. I mean, yeah, Semi will take Kyle Felt's spot. He's going to be elite. So this all of a sudden becomes a really elite back line. Chad's got to go, but yeah, it's pretty damn solid. And Toddy Payton didn't hold back. He said Luciano Leilua is the only player bringing it, and yeah, couldn't argue. As for Penrith, Dylan Edwards was the lead. Taruva, brilliant. Crichton, so damn good. Tago, I would like to see him get a little more ball. It would have been nice if he got a little bit more ball. Cogger was solid. He wasn't too bad. Didn't overplay his hand a little bit. I've been a little bit... Moses and Fisher have been a little quiet the last couple of weeks, but nothing crazy. They're probably, like... They're going to come out firing in these finals. Probably don't need to come off the back fence. Like, we saw Moses in the finals last year murder everybody. And yeah, so Liam Martin, I personally think he's the best second rower in the game. He's so good, man. He's so good. He just plays at 100 miles an hour. He's line running. His efforts, his line speed, everything is it's so aggressive. It's exactly what I want in a player. Garner was okay, but they need Sorensen back. But yeah, scary. I mean, a lot of people do like Penrith are missing quite a few players, man. Like, and they still put 44 on. I mean, who are they missing technically? Like, it's So Luai, Tyler May, and Simonson. Oh, but and then Mitch Kenny, Sorensen, and did Sonny Luke play? I can't remember. Yeah, Sonny Luke didn't play either. Yeah, they got real clunky when Tyrone Peachey came on as hooker. I just kept watching it. He'd pick the ball up off the ground, and you could see him looking who he should pass it to. Like where a good hooker is just like boof straight off the ground. Like you could see him looking, where should I pass it? Who wants it? So yeah, he's not a hooker, sort of thing. But to put 44-12 on the Cowboys, missing half your spine, missing your edge back rower, missing your crazy, man, absolutely crazy. Cowboys, they're gonna be tough to beat, man. I'll have a look at some player stats. This game counted, but yeah, well, I mean, Drinky was all right. He was all right. He just strangled out of the game. I'll tell you what, Penrith are probably the best at shutting down those drifting fullbacks. Like they've done something. Last time Latrell sort of ripped them apart, but they've done such a good job of shutting down Latrell over the years. And just those floating ball playing fullbacks, they're pretty damn good at shutting it down. But yeah, not many stats going on here. Nothing really to write home about. Penrith. Dylan Edwards. Quiet game, 145. How putrid. 2 line break assists, a try, 6 tackle breaks. Look at Stephen Crichton, 230 metres, 69 post contact, line break assist, try assist, 13 tackle breaks, man. Then look at Cleary, 16 points, 1 try, 75% conversion. Where's he go? 21 runs for 148 metres, 30 post contact, line break assist. So line break assist, try assist, 7 tackle breaks, man. This dude's a freak, bro. He's an absolute freak. He's pretty damn crazy. Fisher Harris and Moses, 140 each. Nothing crazy, but yeah, I honestly think they're not quite playing up to their full potential. I think there's a little bit of holding back going on there. But yeah, it's going to be scary. So Tago will come back in here. Peach will probably get dropped from the team, to be honest. Yeah, scary thing. Penrith can be a lot better than that. That's scary. That's real scary. All right, Dragons, Knights. You know what, man? You know what I've just sort of... I feel like Knights now are that team that... Like, Knights have been pretty good for a while now. Like, a couple months, 12 weeks or whatever. But, like, it was always like... Well, if the Knights play their best, they can win. Now I feel like even if they're missing players or they don't play their best, they can still win. Or they're probably going to still win. Because they're missing a lot of players in this, man. And they still got out there and got it done. And like I said, Dragons haven't been awful. This Dom Young, his put-downs were so elite. Bradman Best was good. Marju, freak. I want to give Tyson Gamble a massive rap. For real, like a massive rap. He was... And I actually want to give Broncos a bit of a rap too for letting him go. Like me personally, like last year when he was playing and it was him and Ezra Mann, I actually think Gamble was better than Ezra Mann back then. Not ceiling-wise. I just thought that Gamble was actually playing better footy than Mann was. But Mann obviously has a way higher ceiling, so I totally get why you play Mann and want to sign Mann and, you flick Gamble. But good on Broncos for letting him go to go somewhere else and thrive. Because he's just like I actually said this. Heaps of people were like, I said it was a great signing for Newcastle. I was like, bro, he's good, man. Like, is he ever going to be Munster? Nah. Is he ever going to be as slick as Dill Brown? Nah. But he competes. He runs. He's nitty. He's gritty. He does all the annoying stuff. He's got good. He'll come out, put a shot on if you want. He plays hard. He's got so much, and he's seriously one of the most improved players in the NRL. He's been absolutely brilliant, man. Like I said, he'll probably never finish in the top 5/8 of the year, but he's going to be in and around that 5th, 6th, 7th place, and just do a job for you every damn week. But the thing is, when you have when you have Ponga, when you have all these other guys that can create, you don't need him to be Munster. You just need him to tackle hard, run if there's a gap, pass if there's a shift, engage your line, do all that stuff, and he does it. So he's been absolutely brilliant, man. Another dude I want to give a huge rap to is Adam Elliott. When he was at Canberra, I was a huge fan of his, man. Like, okay, so how I explain Adam Elliott is, right, I think he's the future of the 13. So the lock used to pretty much be a prop, like another prop in the middle, or just a tackling machine that didn't really do. Now we obviously see they're ball players, but right now where we are, like they're saying they're almost part of the spine now. Right now we have a bunch of 13s locks that didn't grow up in that ball playing position. So you get guys like Corey Horsburgh and they can pass. Or same with Carrigan, he's getting better at it. But it's not like ball playing isn't natural to Corey Horsburgh. I think we can all agree on that, right? Whereas Adam Elliott is an elite ball player. Like he literally passes the ball he's to me he's slicker than Schuster, and everyone talks about how slick Schuster is. I think Adam Elliott would actually be a better 5'8" than Schuster ever would be. Like Adam Elliott is brilliant. Like his ball playing is spectacular. But not only that, because he carries hard too and he tackles hard. So he's got all that mongrel in him, and he runs hard, tackles hard, runs good lines, takes tough carries, does all that stuff. But his ball playing is actually natural to him, and it's like everyone's jerking off Ponga that he's the reason why this dude here came back when probably round 12 or something like that. He's been a big part of the Knights turnaround. I'm telling you, he's brilliant through the middle. Like any lock can throw a pass, right? But can the lock engage the line correctly? Put the pass on the dude's chin or on his chest or out in front, so the next play, you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's like any lock, you can loft it out the back, and the halfback's jumping up to grab it, and it slows the whole play down. Allen fires cannons, and he's probably the one of the best ball playing locks. Like to me, he is an actual ball playing lock, where I think most guys were ball players or locks, and you know what I mean. And you try and get what I'm sort of saying. They weren't the hybrid sort of thing. It's sort of like MMA. I keep talking about MMA a lot now. Now everyone's like good at everything, whereas it used to be like, I'm a kickboxer and you're a jiu-jitsu guy. And then if you were a kickboxer, you had to learn a bit of jiu-jitsu. If you're a jiu-jitsu guy, you had to learn a bit of stand-up. And now they're all good at everything. I feel like Adam Elliott's like the new hybrid 13. Like he is a genuine ball-playing 13. He'll take a hard carry. He'll shoot at the line, put a shot on if you need to. And him and Carrigan probably. I don't think Carrigan's actually quite as good a ball player as Elliott. Elliott's way underrated on the lock spectrum. He's brilliant. I've always been a big fan of him. Like his carries are tough, man. So good on the Knights, man. Like I said, you've turned a corner. I genuinely feel like the Knights show up and they think they're going to win games now. Like, whereas when you're in that middle lower pack, you're like, man, we have to play our best to win. Now it's almost like they show up and they're going to win a game now. And as for the Knights, I think they showed a little bit of grit. It's when you're on a losing streak like this, sometimes you forget how to win. But I saw a lot of good stuff. This Billy Burns is great. They've found some good. They found some good little gems in here. These Couchman brothers are pretty damn handy. Jesus Christ, they look alike. I think there could be a bit of a future there, man. So I'm not bagging the Dragons. Good on you. He's had a crack. You were awful in the middle of the year, and I didn't think you were having a crack. But I felt like those last 8 games, I felt like you turned up in every single one of them. So good on you, good on you, Dragons. You can't all fit. Some teams have to finish at the bottom, man. It's just they can't. Not everyone can finish in the top 8, So. So congratulations to the Knights, and Dragons go away, have a rough off season, go to Bali, take a leaf from Bradman Best's book, go to Bali, come back better. That's what I have to say. Titans Bulldogs, let's not go on about this game too much. I do want to say Kieran Foran to me has been just about the buy of the year for me. He scored a hat trick. He was, for what the price they got him on. I mean, Reece Walsh is probably buy of the year. But for what they got him for, what he's doing with how he's bringing these forwards on, how he's made Dave Fifita the best he's ever been, how he's going to help Brimo, Sexton, no, not Sexton. Who's their other halves? Sexton's gone now. All those guys coming through. He's gonna be worth his weight, his gold, even when he leaves. He's gonna leave his stamp on this club for a long time. And I felt like he's sort of instilled a bit of resolve, and it's all off the back of him. Like he's playing on one leg out there half the year, taped up like a mummy, limping and just making hella tackles, digging in the line, getting smashed, getting good ball to his outside guys. So absolute soldier, Kieran Foran. And I said, like, I did a TikTok video giving him a shout, and I said, no one's going to give him an award this year. Maybe the Titans will. But Dally M's and all this, no one's going to be talking about Kieran Foran, but I just want everyone to know how huge I thought he was this year. He's enormous. Like, it'd be so easy for him to pack it in. Like, you come in, 12th or 13th or whatever, you're at a club, you can't make the 8, and he's still showing up. He could have easily just taken the rest of the year off. You know what I mean? And he's just in there getting smashed, running hard lines, tackling the biggest blokes on the field. He's just absolutely brilliant, man. So can't say enough. Bulldogs, I'm sorry, blow it up and start again. Awful. I think I worked it out. I had a quick look at it, but they've been conceding something like 37 points a game in the last 10 games. It's disgusting. Like, this team is awful. Like I said, I think the Bulldogs are the only team in this bottom. So I see these teams all have a few. I mean, Dolphins next year get Fleggs and Herbie. They've got a lot to build on. I saw a bit of resolve from the Titans. Tigers have some good young guys coming through. Dragons showed a bit of resolve. The only team that I'm pretty damn confident aren't going to be better next year, even if you drop Stephen Crichton in it, is the Bulldogs. Like, they looked awful for such a long period of time. Like, you can have a bad game. Like, Parramatta got dusted by 51 game, but, the next week they came back and, you know what I mean? Like, it happens. But when you're getting 37 put on you every game, Jesus Christ, that's bad, man. But again, like, the doggies have been getting bagged in the media a lot lately. I'm not going to bag them, but they need to blow it up, get everyone out of there that doesn't want to be there, clean their books and just start again. It's awful. There's not many players here, seriously, that can hold their head pretty damn high. I mean, Reid Marnie, let's have a look. How many missed? He's leading the league in missed tackles by a mile. Like, let's have a look at how many he missed today. I'll just refresh it just to make sure it's... Like, you don't have to be Harry Grant to make you know what I mean? Like, you just have to tackle, man. Here we go. Reid Marnie, 10 missed tackles. That is awful, man. That's awful. Awful. It's actually hard to miss. Like, people go, he's little and he's trying. I'm sorry. For me, there's no try. Like, you don't get a participation medal. I'm too old for that. You don't get a medal or a ribbon for trying in my day. Like, it's performance. You know what I'm saying? And tackling at 70%. When you're in the middle of... What you got to remember, when you're in the middle of the field, you have 3 blokes with you. That's why, like, I'm not taking anything away from what Payne Haas does, but when they go, man, he didn't miss a single tackle. Yeah, they're gang tackling because they're in the middle. To miss 10 tackles in the middle of the field is awful. Awful, man. It's so damn bad. And like I said, Reid to me has probably been one of the worst buys of the year. Like, he's up there in errors and he's up there in missed tackles. He's been one of the most negatively geared players in the NRL all year. And what they pay, $650, $700 for him from Parramatta. Wow, it's a lot of money, man. To literally, like, and it was actually funny. I was on my phone for one of the tries, and I was playing on the phone. And the try, and then I was like, quickly getting this text out, and I look up to watch the replay of the try, and it was literally Reid Marnie slipping off a tackle, and I can't remember, someone was going in. I was like, Jesus Christ, of course. But yeah, they need to sort that out ASAP. But yeah, let's not ramble on about the things. And obviously Titans next year obviously need to tighten up their defence. That's been their Achilles heel this year. But Desi's coming in, man, and if he's going to do one thing, he'll do that. This game right here, Sharkies Raiders. Yeah, it was a tight game. I was actually, you know what? So no Horsburgh, no Papali. Now, I love both those players, but even if you're a Raiders fan, I think you're going to agree with me here. They're pretty slow players. I thought in the first half, Raiders looked quick, like the quickest I'd seen them. Fast, like line speed, everything, like quick. And I really enjoyed it. Who was the guy's name? He came on. He ended up starting. This kid. To be honest, I didn't watch the game super close, but in the first 15, 20 minutes, I was like, damn, line speed was good. You know, like again, Horsburgh, love him, not fast. You know, Papali, love him, not fast. You know, and I really feel like rugby league's becoming a quick game. Like, rugby league back in the day was always the big kids. The bigger the kid, the better. I honestly feel like there's a tipping point now, and like you want a couple big blokes on your team. But look at Ruben Cotter. Like I've honestly think like he's one of the better props in the game. I'd personally think is you probably want one big and one little. So I actually think Parramatta's got a really good front row rotation. Junior Paulo, bigger guy, hard to tackle, absorbs a lot of bodies, like three blokes trying to get him down sort of thing. But then they have RCG, lightning quick, really big and tall, fast, athletic. You know what I mean? And Raiders sort of have that with Tarpany, but Tarpany doesn't quite move like RCG. He's a bit slower. Like, RCG comes off RCG is fast, bro. Like, I reckon he'd be as fast as some of the outside backs. He's quick. But yeah, I was actually pretty impressed, and they did mix it up with the Sharkies, but Sharkies did it for 80. What I was talking about with the Sharks a little earlier, Connor Tracy, I've been giving him mad raps. One little thing I noticed in his game today, his positional play wasn't great. He actually got turned around a few times and pinned in his own 10. And it's not like Cleary was doing it. It was, Fogarty and Frawley. So you know what I mean? If you're in the finals and you're facing Cleary and Munster and these sort of guys, Reynolds. I can say you're facing Reynolds in the finals. Hey, Broncos fans, how about it? Now Sebastian Chris, massive spear tackle. That was a genuine spear tackle. Now I'm pretty harsh on these sometimes because, man, I've played league, bro. A lot of these like dangerous tackles aren't dangerous at all. So you get taught to do it. If someone grabs your leg, you just jump on the ground and you just tip and you land on your shoulder. You know what I mean? And you can't really tell because you just ping it bouncing off one foot. That one, he picked him up and dropped him on his head. That was a genuine spear tackle. He's in big trouble, man. And there was no force. Like, Chris was not trying to hurt him. But he picked him up and put him on his head. And it was the tip of the head. They're the bad ones. It's actually worse when you go in on an angle. Like, when you go down, it's more jarring. Like the Alex McKinnon one you watch, he dug in. Like, oh, so gross to watch, man. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I love the bro. Probably my favourite player of all time. But Greg Inglis was the king of it. Because he was so big and strong, he'd go bang, bang, three blokes would grab him. Someone would grab his leg. Just jump sideways. You tip over, you land on your shoulder. Penalty. Greg Inglis was the king of it. But I really like Jackie in the centres. I like to see him in the middle a little bit more. But yeah, it's just Raiders, man. You're going to have to be better. Man. Sharkies, I thought they were good. It was good because they were in an arm wrestle and then they ended up blowing them away. They did that the other week as well. Can't remember what game it was. But yeah, Love and Trindle. I'm not going to get into how they're going to go in the finals. We're obviously going to do that in the prelim, but really good signs from the Sharkies. Sort of where I'm seeing the Sharkies right now, and they can improve through the finals. But I see the Sharkies. I'm not saying they would, but I'm seeing the Sharkies probably being able to beat these top, pretty much anyone in here. But then I don't know about the maybe even chuck the Knights in there. Maybe they've been bloody good. So you know what I mean. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But we're gonna find out. Prove me wrong, Sharkies. Let's go. But yeah, Raiders not looking good, man. They're not bad. They're just, I think, lacking a little bit of creativity out of the hooker position. Probably lacking a genuine fullback. If you put, Will Smith or Connor Tracy in this team, like genuine fullbacks. I think this Canberra team's elite. Like Rapana for me is a winger. Like he's like you don't want Rapana touching the ball a whole heap. Like don't get me wrong, he was brilliant. He had about 10 good touches in a row, but then he had a couple bad ones. You know, it's his consistency's fullback. Consistency's king. Like you need someone that you know you're going to get. Dylan Edwards, you know what you're going to get. You know, it's you really want consistency there. And yeah, like I said, you drop Will Kennedy or Connor Tracy into this team, and I think it makes it a lot better. But we'll have to wait and see for the Raiders. But I'm not holding my breath. Who have they got again? Knights. So Ponga might be out for this one, and they'd be praying they are because Ponga could rip them to shreds. He really could. I can't wait for this Pacific Champions as well. But yeah, so we'll have to wait and see, guys. But yeah, we'll have a quick look at the team stats here. This should be interesting. Yeah, completion rate way too low. Way too low. Sharkies dominated. Well, not dominated. They won the time in possession. Renford, like they were in this game for half of it. I mean, these stats aren't dramatically in the Sharkies' favour. 4 line breaks to 3, 49 tackle breaks to 34. I mean, they won it, but it's not a blowout. Average set distance, they actually won that. You know, they actually won. I felt like they were strong in the middle, like getting up quickly. They had really quick play of the balls. So no, it's not horrendous. I mean, they look at a lot of these stats. They're pretty damn close. It's just both teams have. This is the thing. Both teams just have to be a bit better. Like you can't make 13 errors in the finals. You know what I mean? We saw what Penrith put up. You know where were they? We saw like this is like Penrith are going to do this in the final, and so you have to match it. Penrith are going to complete at 80%, over 80%. They're going to run for 2Ks. They're going to get you. They're going to get you about 10 tackle breaks. They're probably not going to do 73. That's exorbitantly high, but they put 40 or 50 on you. They're going to play the ball quickly. So these are the sort of if you want to win the comp, these are the numbers you have to be putting up, man. You know, you can't be completing at 75. You got to be completing close to maybe not 90 is ridiculously high, 88, 90. And, you know, sub 30 missed tackles as well, and sub 10 errors. These are the numbers you have to put up if you want to win the comp. You know, and not many teams are. You know, Newcastle have been. Broncos really haven't been, but they've been just shredding teams apart in different ways. But yeah, that's like I said, we just looked at those numbers from Penrith, and then you come here and it's like these aren't horrendous numbers. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not too far off. You know what I mean? But then the line breaks down. You know, like it's just everything's a little bit down. I just think they have to be a bit better, just about everywhere. You know, just about everywhere. But we'll have to wait and see, hey? That's it. We're done. We're dusted. It's all done, man. How good. Round 27. Like I said, cracking year, guys. Yes, I'll probably do a little bit different. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. But I might even do different videos for each games instead of doing the full long podcast again. That way I can go to each game in a little bit more detail. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. You'll find out. You'll find out, guys. Right. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.